So we are asked in the question, what is the slope of a line containing 2 points? One of the points is 3 comma negative 8. The other point is negative 1 comma negative 6. And one way you can do this is you could go draw yourself an XY graph and put these points on there. Here's 3 negative 8, something like this. Okay, 3 negative 8. And the other one is negative 1 negative 6. So that's going to be like over here. I don't know. Negative 1, negative 6. And you could ask yourself, what is the slope of the line connecting these 2 points? Well, go ahead and do it that way if you want, okay? It's a preference thing. I wouldn't even make a graph because I would want to get the slope the quickest way that I can. Although this graph is useful, it tells us something important right away. You know you have to have a negative slope, okay? You see that line going downwards? A line going downwards, that's a negative slope right there. So that's one thing that we have gained from drawing a graph. But the way I would do this is forget the graph for a moment. Let's talk about what slope is. Remember the way we calculate slope. If you remember this, it's rise over run. In other words, rise, that's the change in y, and I'm going to write that as delta y. And run is delta x, that's the change in x. So what's the change in y? It's like y2 minus y1, and the change in x is x2 minus x1. And when I put these subscripts on the y and x values, what I mean is the second y point and the first y point. So what's the second y point? I'm going to call this point 2 and this point 1, although actually it doesn't really matter. If you switch the numbers, you'll get the same result in the end. So y2 is negative 6. Y1 is negative 8 minus negative 8. Okay, and then x2, you have to be consistent here. x2 is going to be negative 1, and x1 is going to be 3. So this becomes negative 6 minus negative 8. Well, that's positive 2. And negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. So negative 2 over negative 4, that's basically, come here, graph. That's just negative 1/2. Okay, that's my slope. And you see that in your list right here. So the important thing in this problem is knowing when they say what's the slope. You should know how to calculate what slope is. It's rise over run.